The best game on Roblox ever, the W, recently added their new gun system to the testing place. The second best game ever, the J. And this is my 2 cents on everything. Starting off with the gun system itself, overall it's a lot more snappy and heavy feeling in a way that I can't really describe other than that. But one of the main complaints, or I don't necessarily know if it even really is a complaint, it's just a different thing. The actual aiming itself almost doesn't necessarily seem to matter all that much, because it doesn't seem to, hip firing itself doesn't seem to negatively impact your accuracy or anything like that. So that makes it so that you're able to cross-map people with the LSW and the SMG and other things. To the flashiness itself of the new gun system, I think everything looks a lot better than the old one, now that there's actually bullet holes and cool effects when you hit the ground, and especially the muzzle flash and tracers. One, they actually don't make your PC explode, or better yet, the server. And secondly, they just look really cool themselves. The only issue is that another thing with aiming, with stuff like the LSW itself, it's almost difficult to see what you're actually shooting at because the muzzle flash and smoke is so aggressive. But at the same time, I mean, it does look cool, but it is probably something that's going to be toned down in the official release. So now the animations, they I think could use some work, but also I do get that it's not really, you know, there's a difference between the animation and the actual scripting part of both sides of the development. So I'll give a leeway on this, especially because it's also the testing place, not the official place. So let's go back to the positives. Keeping the rent low and hearing the sounds of Detroit, all-time really nice factor, or whatever you want to call it.
Butts and shuts in the sky, so the housing prices are not as high. Zillow cooked all of the books, so we keep the rent low. We don't hit anything. Just a couple bursts trigger the ring alerts, and we keep the rent low.
All in all, the update itself seems really promising and seems like it can lay the groundwork for a lot better optimizations, or whatever you really want to call it. It's just all around better, let's just say. And I think, for the most part, any bugs they can work out. The big ones being, I think the idle animation itself is a bit weird, and the hip firing itself, I think, could use a tiny bit of a rework. Everything else, I think, is pretty promising, and also pretty comparable to the old FE gun kit system that we had before. So, yeah, I guess that's my final thoughts. I wonder, especially how much this will change when this comes to the full release, and how it'll work with the plot kits and the actual W systems themselves. Because with this test, all of your tools were granted, you just spawned with them, and it changed how you needed to build things, because all you really need to do is build walls and spawns, which was actually kind of interesting in of itself. But yeah, that's it.